I'm Dr. Chipo Shonhiwa. I'm currently with the Bindura University of Science Education as the substantive chairperson for the Engineering and Physics Department. But I do participate in several projects for the government on the National University Service. As a university, we offer services to the nation because universities should facilitate the growth of the nation and help to solve the problems in the nation. I'm going to focus on the energy situation in Zimbabwe. Most of the things that I was going to talk about have been addressed by our Director, Renewable Energy Sector, Dr. Sosten Siwuku. So I'll just do it briefly, and also my time has been very limited. Zimbabwe meets its electricity from national generation and imports. We generate mainly from hydro, which contributes 45%, from Kariba power station. We have Wange, which use thermal. We have also Bulawayo, Munyati, and Harare, which are usually referred to as the small thermals, which contribute about 2%. And of late, we have several independent power producers which are producing also electricity, mainly from renewable energy sources. The imports are from ZESCO, ESCOM, Hydrocarbora Basa, and this contribute 18%. As research institutions, we are worried about these imports and the low production of the country. So we need to work on coming up with the better clean technologies which can help increase our production locally so that we cut on the imports which are currently drawing foreign currency from the country. Then from our regulator, organized companies that wants to undertake generation and transmission, which exceeds 100 kilowatts, but currently this is underway of being reviewed. It is needed to be shifted to 5 megawatts. But at the moment, those producing 100 kilowatts, they need to get licenses from the Zimbabwe Energy Regulatory Authority, SERA. Most of these policies have been outlined already by my Dr. Siwuku. He talked about the national energy policy, all this. Maybe what he didn't touch on was the Zimbabwe climate change response strategy. That's the strategy for the country, which aims to provide a framework for the adaptation, mitigation, technologies which can be used, the financing which can be used in order for the country to be able to cope with the climate change, for the country to be able to contribute to the abatement of anthropogenic climate change. So as the institutes of higher learning, we feel that we have a mandate here to contribute to the research agenda, because for us to be able to abate this climate change, we have to come up with the energy sources which do not pollute the environment. As I have already mentioned earlier, we said much of our electricity is coming from Wange Thermal Power Station, which burns coal, which is a major emitter of carbon dioxide. So we need to come up with cleaner technologies. Also, we did mention about the Zimbabwe intended nationally determined contribution, which focuses on energy efficiency. Here on energy efficiency, we need to we have made some assessments under the guidance of our Ministry of Energy to find out how much energy can be saved if we practice energy efficiency. We have found that we can create a virtual power plant. Maybe if I talk of just solar water heaters, if we replace the current electricity geysers with solar water heaters, we can create a virtual power plant of about 420 megawatts. So if we manage to go energy efficient, we go a long way in solving the energy crisis, which is currently in the country. Also, this aims at focusing on renewable energy sources because they are clean and they can be recycled. That's why we are focusing on them. When we have the energy diversity in the country, here I'll talk of both the renewable and non-renewable. We have about 12 billion metric tons of proven coal resources. But although we have much of this, we don't want to focus more on producing electricity from them because they are already polluting the environment. We know that the technologies are already there. They have been worked on due to experience. They are now, we need low cost investment. But because of that pollution, we do not want to concentrate on them. We also have approximately 1.1 tera cubic meters of coal-backed methane gas, which has been found in the country, which is not being exploited. We have hydropower potentials, which is mainly concentrated along the Zambezi River and in the western part of the country, in the Manicaland province. We have several perennial rivers which can be used for producing, maybe coming up with small hydros, micro hydros for augmenting the power supply in the country. Our local solar irradiance is about 5.7 kilowatt hours per square meter per day, which is something which is very huge. So with this, we can move away from polluting sources and focus on solar energy. Maybe already, it's already been mentioned, we have in households, especially in the off-grid areas, and of late, even in towns, people have shifted to use of solar electricity because of load shedding. And in rural areas, people are using solar for electricity in the houses and also for pumping in the irrigation systems. Therefore, irrigation, I can say, my department is proposing of coming up with some budget greenhouse, which we would want to use maybe solar and also maybe the drip technology to solve the huge shortage of energy in the agricultural sector. So with the solar, we can do a lot with it because we have abundance of it in the country. Then we have also the annual yield of wood from natural forest. There has been estimated of 4.6 million tons. But with this, we also have sawmill waste, which is currently a health hazard in the country, which can also be used to produce energy. Clean technologies can be used because currently that sawmill waste which is produced is not being used, it's being heaped. And if fires start from there, it's very difficult to stop the fires. And it's a health hazard. It's causing some indoor pollution, resulting in pollution-related diseases. We have estimated that we have about 5 million tons of bagasse, which is a waste from production of sugarcane in the triangle area. This also can be used for producing electricity. Currently, some of it is already being used at triangle for producing electricity. Studies have also shown that this bagasse, we can extract nanosilicon from it, which can be used to manufacture maybe even solar cells, which can be used for manufacturing solar panels. So if maybe that is pursued, we can produce our solar panels locally. Then if they are produced locally, then they are available to more people, and we shift from the national grid, which is taking too long to be extended to everyone. Then we have the wind speeds in Zimbabwe. Studies in the past, people used to say that Zimbabwe is no enough wind speeds for producing meaningful electricity. But studies that have been carried by IRENA and other researchers here in the country have shown that we can produce electricity in the country. And in areas where we have low wind speeds, they are high enough for water pumping. So instead of drawing electricity from the grid for pumping water from boreholes, for example, from rivers, for example, we can use wind. So I'm done. Thank you for your listening.